These are your shaman messages. Now, recently, most recent, we did your shaman messages on May 17th. Your title was Moving Mad Slow. Okay. And I feel like that is due to what we just talked about in Aries energy. Basically, it was talking about complacency, and the gist was basically like the circles of life of learning, teaching, learning, teaching, learning, teaching. And you're in a position, you know, now where you can teach, and I feel like it's been a long time coming. Okay, it's been taking you a long ass time. Okay. Also, word of advice: don't become, you know, don't become what you do not like, what you know don't like, what you hate, what you loathe. You know, don't become the very thing that you don't like. Okay, so kind of energy I was getting. So let's see what's going on with you, Taurus. The part 2 version will be on Patreon. Okay, under the shaman tier. So you have the Ace of Swords reverse, okay, and the Swan keeps coming out. So you have the Ace of Wands, I'm sorry, Ace of Swords coming out in reverse, which will talk about like not having clarity, not having discernment, not having the truth, not standing on it. It could even simply being that. It could be not standing on it, not yielding it, not utilizing it. All right. Now, this Ace of Swords with this Swan reminds me of the previous cards that were coming out in Aries reading with the Swan. And that Swan was coming out as like a Father of Cups, which is like the King of Cups. All right. And it was coming out reversed as well. So there's some like masculine energy, all right, which we just finished Aries, which is pretty masculine, you know, that was kind of hindering or blocking something here. Now this also can be an energy, you know, this was what has taken you so long in whatever this is in life, because there was something blocking you regarding, you know, masculine energy. We should all have masculine, feminine energies within us. That's a balance, that's lover's energy, but unfortunately most will dictate that role to someone else and then blame them for things X, Y, and Z. But basically I'm just getting a vibe where you may have like issues with masculine energies because of a father figure or masculines in your life here, and so that hinders you from exerting masculine energy, or maybe you exert too much of it. Basically, all in all, I just feel like there's something that's been going on that happened in the first house, hence is why it was just taking you a long time, Taurus energy, to move forward, to develop, to get this Ace of Swords energy. Would you look at that? The bottom of the deck is you, King of Pentacles, and that is the Bull. This is you. And then here we have the Hanged One, okay? With this is coming out with a hummingbird. It looks like a little bird. And the Hanged One is all about understanding, okay? Understanding, being enlightened to something, being aware. I'm also getting a nest here as well. This bird kind of looks like it's falling out of a nest. Which sadly reminds me of when I seen one of the birds fall out I saw it fall out the nest, and like I saw crows coming over and like, you know, doing what crows do. I was like, damn. So it's just, to me, it looks like you were constantly going, obviously in like some type of cycle, like where you were constantly falling out of the nest. So it's like you kept dying over and over and over and over, which makes sense because your opposite is Scorpio. But I feel like you are It's because I usually read from left to right, but the way this is kind of like it's making me go back and forth. So it's almost like Ace of Swords reverse. You really were in this approach towards who you are. You didn't know. You didn't have a clear. You didn't know. Okay, because there was something going on in Aries energy, your first house. All right, which then affects your second house or just affects you, Taurus. But then it's like now I'm looking at it from the Hanged One over to the King of Pentacles. It's different. It's like from this angle. So I don't know something about the left hand, or I don't know, some of you are left hand, or you took, I don't want to say the left path, like the left hand path, or I don't want to say you took a left, like, you know, you were supposed to take a right, but I'm just getting like a different perspective on your energy here. Okay. So I don't know. It's kind of like this Ace of Swords to me, since I mentioned it with the King of Pentacles. I'm sorry, the King of Cups. It's like a father figure, and then Taurus, you're about traditions, things being passed down. I just kind of feel like maybe you approached who you are or whatever this is by someone else's understanding that it's coming. Obviously, you're realizing that they didn't have an understanding with the Hang One. It's like leaning on your own understanding as opposed to someone else's outside of you that isn't you. Even your parents, like, you know, I don't, you know, I just think their job is to raise you and get you into this realm, but that's it and that's all. I think people put too much emphasis on like family. I don't think, you know, because I just, you know, family, they want you to be who they want you to be. You know, God says raise up a child in the way in which they should go. I don't think people raise them up in the way that they want them to go, you know, but not necessarily what God wants them to go. Astrology wants them to go, you know, it's one of those vibes here. And I kind of feel like you're going in a different, you're approaching this differently here. Like before, you may have listened to other people's understanding, or they, you know, and thought they had understanding and they didn't. It really I'll never forget this, but the girl who called me evil or of the wit of the devil's work, because I read tarot and astrology, and I asked her, like, did you do your own research? Like, what makes you feel so strongly about this? Like, that I'm evil, or I'm, you know, tarot's evil or the devil? Like, did you have any references? Like, where is this? Where did you have any, like, where is this coming from? I need to know. Oh, my mom told me. Huh? Your mom told you that tarot is evil, but your mom didn't tell you that having babies by two different men, one of which you have to pay child support to, and not to mention you're younger than I am. I'm 28. You're like, I don't know, 25 with two babies, two different baby dads, don't have your own place. But your mom didn't tell you that was evil. That's devil's work. Having babies in poverty, that's not you. Your mom didn't tell you nothing about that, but she told you ignorantly that tarot is evil. But she didn't tell you that having babies out of wedlock was evil. She didn't tell you that, though. It's like, that's what I'm getting with this Ace of Swords reverse. It's like believing other people's ignorance and taking it as truth. And then you just develop into this person with these beliefs and traditions that aren't even real or valid, or aren't really, you know, but it's like you're too fearful, or you are just, I'm really just getting that energy, why this is why it took you so long. Hangman, it's like you had to get outside of this Ace of Swords reverse and go about it in a different way. It reminds me of like a fox. Having clever and being conniving, not even conniving, but just being clever to think outside the box. Because obviously somebody was trying to put you in one. It was a box that you were forever going to be learning, and it's nothing wrong with for being a forever student at all, but it's like you're like constantly repeating first grade. You're constantly repeating first grade, and you're getting older and older and older, and you're still repeating first grade. Like you're learning the same lessons, but you're still not getting it. Like that's the box that these people were trying to put you in, with a life that was not in alignment with you, with beliefs that are not in alignment with you, with an identity that's not in alignment with you. So Aries was getting missed upgrades. I was getting complacency. Don't become what you don't like. Don't become what you hate. Most people could become the very thing that they hate. I was adopted, and my dad, he was married before, had his own kids, whatever. And his firstborn son literally hated him, like hated him. but his life resembles my dad's, his dad's, our dad's. The house, the kids, the very nice job, the traveling never home. Reluctance to marrying, commitment. Like, it's like the very thing that my older brother, even though I'm adopted, my older brother hated about our father that adopted me. He became the very thing that he hated. And this is just kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Like, don't become, you have mothers, for example, they have sons or they have kids, daughters, and they train them to be the very thing that they hate. Why do you have mothers who have these little boy sons, and the little boy reflects the very father, looks just like them, they'll dress them just like the very father that they hate? Like, this is one of those energies, like, and that's essentially what was probably taking you so long, is basically the vibe, okay, Taurus? Like, it's, I don't know, it's like you were already kind of starting a losing battle here. Like, it's like you're a bull, but you were raised to be, I don't know, a swan, for example. It's like, like, they even do that to elephants as babies. They put like a thing on them, hold them down to the ground to make them think that at like a young age that, that elephant's not stronger than the stick or whatever that's holding them down. And that's to condition them. It's like, this is conditioning, and this is why it's been taking you so long, basically. What's been taking so long, we'll see. I'm gonna have to see when I tap into this King of Pentacles here. I'm gonna see exactly, more specifically, or maybe the Ace of Swords will reveal more specifically what's been taking long. I guess this transformation, Scorpio energy, as soon as I split the deck. Yeah, Six of Pentacles is here with the planting of the seeds, like, but it's reverse. So yeah, and I said something about the circles of life. So that's also the cycles of life. You were kind of missing those upgrades. You were missing the cycles of life. All right, which that's like, it's not good. Like, we all laughing hee hee ha ha when winters cut short. But that shit's gonna come back. It's gonna come back, like, so this is, we have to have all the seasons, period, so this is the vibe that I'm getting as of right now. You weren't in alignment, and that's what was taking so long. You weren't shedding off old hooves. You weren't shedding old skin. I don't know. It's like you weren't. I don't know. It just makes me look at people differently, even more than I thought. I didn't even think I could look at them any different. It's just really crazy how they really can deter you. It's really crazy how powerful ignorance and misinformation and the lack of information, like how much damage that can cause. To me, this is very interesting. The Ace of Swords is information that was not given to you, which then, if knowledge is power, you were purposely not given power. And you are a very powerful sign, like very powerful, I mean, you're a bull. Come on. It's like you were not informed that you needed to charge up. You were not informed that a bull needs to eat like this. A bull needs to sleep like this. A bull needs this much activity. It's like you were raised to be, I don't know, like something that you are not, and it's not in alignment. And then you live your life, and then you can't properly, and it's just, to me, it's so scary because people really do be playing these roles in your life, and some are oblivious that they're doing it, others are very conscious that they're doing it. Nonetheless, it's still damaging. You get the wrong information, and that will easily fuck up like, it will, like, it's very interesting. And that's why I'm such a strong advocate for Vedic astrology, not because I don't really understand the Indian like language, no, but I want to get to the root of like where things naturally are, where like like I don't want to be led astray with a tropical chart. That's not who I am. That's energy I need to progress into when it's time to, but it's just not accurate. And then people are living their life off of something that's not accurate, and then they wonder why they can't. Nothing's making sense. Ace of Swords reverse. And I guess it's just scary to me because we live in a world where everybody's talking, Ace of Swords, everybody's distributing information, petty to the most, to the most, I don't know what, informative. And now you can intake that one wrong information and then boom, like it's that shit really, and then like family naturally are gonna deter you from being who you like. That's well, that's what I have here as of right now. Taurus, you were not encouraged to change. You were not encouraged to because the thing about Taurus energy can be very, very lazy. Period. And I know that energy. I'm a Mars in Taurus. Taurus energy can be very lazy. And I feel like that's essentially what this Ace of Swords reverse. This, for those of you who don't want to admit it, it's the truth. You're lazy, greedy, materialistic, like the lower vibration Taurus energy. That's and not to blame anyone, you got to take accountability at some point, but this is where it's coming from. Like you were not encouraged, like, oh, like a bull, yeah, they're lazy, but give them something worth working for, they'll go the distance. Nah, you were encouraged to be lazy. You were encouraged to be greedy. You were encouraged to do the bare minimum or to move very, very slow to your detriment. Even death, Scorpio, we got to change at a moment's notice. There's a time and a place, and you were missing all of that. Like you were missing it because you were encouraged to go slow or don't it's like your own energy was used against you. Like, okay, Taurus, they like to eat, so okay, we'll feed them, but we're gonna feed them food that slows them down further and makes them bigger and holds them down. We're not going to feed them top quality food that's going to nurture the bull to really get up in there. Like, nah, it's like, okay, we know we know the bull likes to sleep and rest and things like that. So we're just gonna make it so you're not encouraged to work towards something. Like, it's just like Pisces energy gets used to create illusions that people fall for, your energy gets used to either work too hard or work too hard for someone or something else, or for you to not do anything at all. There's no middle ground. Like, and then you're stuck and stubborn in that. Like, so it's like if you are stuck and stubborn in a low vibrational Taurus energy, that's very hard for you to break out of. And that's essentially what they wanted with this Ace of Swords reverse. It's the power of misinformation. It's very scary. And I know I did a reading a long time ago, and it was for actually Scorpio energies, and it was like, I think it was a Why Are They Mad? But the title was like, you've been misinformed. Like, these people have been misinformed. Like, I feel like you've been misinformed on purpose. And that's why you need to take the power, you need to take your power back and put it in your hands and seek out your own information. You don't know what you don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the second portion, part 2. That'll be on Patreon under the Empress Shaman tier. It's giving me like a disservice, like you've been given a disservice. And I also feel like you've been at a disserviced yourself here as well. Luckily, that's changing. I do feel like that has changed, but we shall see exactly at Temperance. And would you look at that? The cranes, those storks and cranes. Remember, I keep talking about them because they keep coming up in my readings. Like, if y'all watch them, you'll keep hearing me or see me pull out my binoculars. Like, oh, pretty bird, pretty bird, pretty bird. Dumb and Dumber.